What's up, everybody? It's Dingers time. We are back with another episode. As you can see, Braden is not here.
Yep.
We will have him on. We've been trying, just scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, life has been kind of crazy. We've been kind of messed up on our schedule last few weeks with me and work and just other kind of stuff coming up. So, But yeah, we are trying.
Next few weeks definitely will be a little different as well with the schedule, but just definitely keep an eye out. We will keep doing as much as we can. We might have to skip a week here or there or something, but we definitely will try to keep it going, you know. But this week we got a few different topics we want to discuss. First, so I went to the Rockies game on Friday night, and they're having like a Todd Helton weekend.
Yeah, the Rockies GOAT.
Yeah, Rockies GOAT, man. Just watching him when I was younger, it was so much fun. You know, the Todd father. But so where we were up in the rock pile. We were able to go down on the field. Have you ever been on the field before, like for something like this? You know, because like I've walked around, but like something like this, have you ever been on the field?
The only time I've actually been on the field is when I was in the Army. We did like colors and like the national anthem and stuff, but nothing like
where you're like sitting down, like feeling the grass and stuff. Dude, it was like that experience was like mind-boggling for me. You know, it was just like, man, it was so cool. I mean, so I'm sitting there, Braden's right next to me, and he's like, I think I'm going to take my shoes off. I'm like, do it, man. He wanted to feel the grass on his feet, man. So he takes his socks and his shoes off.
Honestly, that's something that pro athletes probably have never done. I'm sure there's pro athletes that like, they never take their shoes off because they got cleats and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe your first. I don't know if you would or
maybe.
not. You know, it's
I don't know why you'd ever.
I asked him. I was like, "So you're going to be playing on this field soon?" He's like, "Oh yeah." And so I'm like, "All right." You know,
if he ever plays in high school, I think every single high school in the area tries to play at least one game at course.
I think he was talking about the majors. I don't think he's talking about high school.
I'm just saying,
yeah, you never know. But, man, it was so cool. And then they had a drone show for, like, Todd Helton.
That's pretty sweet.
That was the first drone show I've ever watched. And you've never seen one, correct?
Nope. I've never seen a drone show, never even came close to a drone show.
It was so cool, man. Like, I want them to do that instead of fireworks.
I could totally see that. Like, I was really curious to see what you thought of it because I've always wanted to see one, but yeah, I think that's something, especially here, maybe California, could be moving towards because of all the forest fires and.
Yeah, I could see like even the price.
Yeah,
like I said, I don't know exactly how much either of them costs.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the drones cost more originally.
Yeah,
but you'd think you could probably reuse a lot of the drones.
Probably,
and you'd think that eventually it's gonna be cheaper because fireworks you have to buy every single year and you can't reuse them or anything, and so you'd think so. But dude, some of the stuff they did, it was just like there was one where they had like a baseball coming towards like a hitter, and as he swings, his back shows number 17.
That's pretty sweet.
Like it was like, wow, man, it was really cool.
I wonder how much because I feel like fireworks have kind of been the same old show for
they're cool years, but nothing really new.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's why I'm not saying the drone show was not cool, but the new factor of, hey, I've never seen this stuff before, maybe,
I think they can just do so much more with the drones too. Like fireworks, you really can't. Yeah, you can do a few different little things, but it's not like a crazy. For example, you can't put a Rockies logo in a firework.
No.
Or a Nuggets logo, or any sports logo in a firework, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try to, but it's... we've seen different stuff where...
You can personalize drone shows.
Exactly. And so much. Yeah. I mean, this one was presented by SeatGeek. Well, at the very end, it says SeatGeek kind of thing. And it was like, oh, that's cool. Whereas, the fireworks, okay, I remember that. The 4th of July show, I don't know who it was sponsored by. It's stuff like that and everything. And so I think, man, it's just so cool. I hope they kind of keep going more to it. I know I saw Disney Springs was having one for the next month or something like that. And I saw a couple videos, and it's like, man, that's like really
pretty cool.
you know?
Because know, like, because it's just technology. Like, you're putting in the program on the computer, and then the drones just kind of move on themselves and stuff.
And I'm sure there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
But, dude, I think it's so much cooler than fireworks.
Yeah.
I hope they do that. But as I'm sitting there, they're showing videos of Todd Helton and everything, you know? Dude, I started getting chills because Rocktober, 2007, we ended up going to the World Series.
Yeah,
we won 21 of 22 games to finish the season.
Yep.
And we, got to the World Series like that.
Yep.
It wasn't even...
Swept our way to the World Series.
It wasn't even hard. And then we got swept in the World Series.
Yep.
But, man, it's just like... I'm getting a little chills right now, actually, just talking about it.
Yeah.
And so it got me thinking, because this is kind of a weird week for us, right before football season. Like, yeah, there's still baseball going on, but kind of a weird week in sports right now. And it got me thinking, I was like, we need to talk about this. Can you think of any other times? Like, so you were a little younger than me.
Yeah.
You were about 12 when Rocktober happened.
Yep. I remember.
Do you remember it like that? You know, like, is there
yeah.
anything else that you can remember? Maybe not even necessarily in like Colorado sports, but do you remember something like that? There's one thing that I can think of in my mind that's kind of similar. But Rocktober, that was, even if you're not a baseball fan, if you are, that was amazing, man.
Maybe the Nuggets championship or like the Avalanche.
But that's the thing. It wasn't like unprecedented or something. You know, it's like, hey, we were a favorite in that.
Exactly.
The Rockies came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
it shocked the world.
Dude, it was just fun, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing that I can remember is Linsanity.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Jeremy Lin with the Knicks, man. And it didn't last long. But that guy, because of that, 2-3 weeks of Linsanity, he got paid in his next contract. And it wasn't bad, but that was crazy too, man.
Yeah.
My buddy, I remember he came out from Wisconsin for Halloween, and he dressed up as Jeremy Lin for Halloween.
Well, that's got to be so cool.
That's he had the Linsanity shirt and stuff, and it was just like, I can't think of another sports time like that. And I'm sure there is. I'm sure we're gonna talk to Book and stuff, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, you guys didn't say this. You didn't even remember that." I'm like, "Oh yeah," or something, you know. Or the other one I can maybe think of. I don't remember this at all, just from what I've been told and what I've watched and read about, is the Nuggets beating the Supersonics.
Yeah.
With Dikembe Mutombo. Because I think that was the first time an 8 seed ever beat a 1.
I think so.
And that was kind of a very unprecedented time, you know. And so, but it wasn't spanned out for 3, 4, or 5 weeks.
Exactly.
That was.
I'm pretty sure they lost next round.
We did, so. But it was really that last game. Yeah. So it was like, okay, you know, I'm like, we got to that game because at that time there was, I'm pretty sure, only 5 games in a series, and so we got to that game 5. So it was a little bit, but it was like, oh man, you know, and so maybe the 2009 Nuggets, being in Denver, just because we went to the Western Conference Finals. We had a chance to go to the finals, 2 passes away. Don't want to talk about it. But that was, but we were still, it wasn't like we were the 8 seed, 7 seed, you know, and it wasn't like we were crawling our way.
I think the fact that the Rockies, were such an underdog made it 10 times better. Because I remember, even when they started their win streak, it's like, man, they're kind of on a run, but in the back of your head, you're thinking, well, it's going to end.
It was fun, but it's not going to.
Yeah, it's not going to last. And then the play-in game, I still think that's the best baseball game I've ever been to.
Were you there? I was at that game too.
Yeah,
that
my
was
dad will
amazing.
probably agree. But even that game alone, we ended up having to come back in extras, I think, or I
ended up going into extra. And was it extra?
I think so.
Or was it in the 9th?
I think they scored 2 or 3 runs. The Padres scored 2 or 3 runs in the 9th.
I think they scored 2, and then I think we won it in 9.
We might have.
Or was it in 10? Maybe we tied it. I don't know. I wouldn't even say maybe that's not the best baseball. That might have been one of the best games I've ever been to.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
I agree.
Because, like you were saying, even then we're like, but we still have to win to get it in. And
Exactly.
like, yeah, we're at Coors Field, but it's like,
Yep.
I don't know, like we're the Rockies though, you know. And so it was just like,
and like we ended up coming back and winning, and then we just used that momentum to kind of just steamroll our way. I still think, like, I don't know for sure if the Rockies would have won the World Series, but we would have won at least like 1 or 2 games.
If it would have started right away.
Yeah, the Red Sox ended up going to Game 7.
We had like 9 games or 9 days in between or something.
So I think
that.
because I've talked about like this with my dad before, that I think baseball is one of the most like motivational driven games, where it's like you can play so much better if you just like motivationally, if you're just on fire and like kind of thing. Like,
I think that's in every sport though, because like even me playing in basketball, it's like there's definitely times where it's like, oh, I want to beat these guys, so I definitely play better. So it's like motivation. I think what you're trying to say is like where I thought you were going is I think the rest can hurt them a little bit more, because if you're in a groove on hitting, you want to stay in that groove. And like you can do it in like basketball shooting and different stuff like that, but it's a lot different. I mean, you're still probably scrimmaging a lot in basketball. Baseball, even like in practice, obviously neither of us have ever been in the pros. But their batting practice isn't against 100-mile-an-hour pitches or anything like that, you know? I mean, it's a lot different for that. Whereas, all right, you're scrimmaging, you might not be as hard, but you're still shooting a lot and different stuff like that. So I think, like, in that aspect, I could kind of see where...
For sure.
It's like you can just get cold a little bit, you know? And because we were hitting great, and then it was kind of just all of a sudden.
Happened to the Rockies. They had the opportunity to, like, sit back and be like, oh, crap, like, we're doing this. Like, look how many games we've won in a row.
We won 30 games, or you know,
it's like this
is
insane. And then we came out and Boston just kind of whooped us. But
do you think so? Todd Helton, obviously, that was his only time ever making the World Series. There was times, because he had like a no trade clause and stuff. There was times that we would have traded him. He could have probably gotten to more World Series if he would have. Do you think he regrets it? I know what he says, but do you think he regrets it? He always says, he's like, losing in the World Series with this team was so much better than ever winning, like going to another team and winning.
I think that's even impossible to say, because you don't know. But I think you could ask any player, and obviously they'd regret not winning a World Series. But
it was like taking the Rockies to the World Series. I mean,
I would say like
him at first base. That was still it's always in my mind.
I would say like if it were me, I'd rather bring a underdog team to the World Series rather than
and lose.
But it's
win.
Like I don't know
how
to like
because I'd want to win a championship.
I don't really
know
how to compare that, but I don't know. I think you get a lot more respect, maybe, or a little bit more respect, because I mean, you look at like Kevin Durant, for example, when he went to Golden State, like people still hate him for that.
Well, even now, it's like he just keeps moving. I mean, he's been on like 5 teams now. Something.
So it's like which there's nothing wrong with
who's
that.
he play for now? I don't even know. I know. Who he plays for.
But so it's like I don't know. You see those types of players and
don't get as much.
One year you're like, man, this is the greatest player, and then they go and make a move like that, and people hate him. It's like nothing really changed other than you changed teams.
I think that's like with LeBron, that was a big thing. And then when he went back to Cleveland, I think it helped him, and especially because they won. And then it's weird because there wasn't as much backlash when he went to LA and when he went to Miami. I think it's because he won in Cleveland.
It's kind of interesting because I don't think Tom Brady had that much. Like, people didn't say that, he won because, like, people were saying, is it Bill Belichick or Tom Brady? But they weren't really, like, writing off Tom Brady as much as, like, LeBron
I mean, they definitely didn't hate him as much.
And stuff, and then he went and won in Tampa Bay, but it just seems like basketball is like the sport that it just pisses people off when players do that.
Yeah.
Baseball, like, I don't think it's as much because baseball is such a team sport. You can't win a game by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's different because you could technically have 9 All-Stars on a baseball team, and they should win.
Yeah.
However, there's a chance that you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas basketball, you have 3-4 All-Stars on a team.
Yeah.
More than likely, you're going to. You know,
Exactly.
and I mean, even like you saw, I can't remember what year it was, but LeBron almost beat. They lost in 7 games to Golden State. It was one of those. I mean, they played so many times, and Kevin Love was out. Kyrie Irving was out.
Yep.
Those are your next top 2 players. LeBron almost beat Golden State with, I'm not going to say nobodies, but almost nobodies because, like, I mean, hey, they're still in the NBA, but it was just like, holy cow, you know, what he could do. But
exactly.
I think we could talk about this for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
I was just, like, wondering, like, what you thought. And like I said, the only real thing that I can think of is got to be Linsanity with all of that and stuff. And
I'm sure, like, I can't wait for people to comment and tell us, like, it's like, oh, dude, you forgot about this. Or
I'm sure there's some in the last, like,
whatever.
10 years, too.
Probably.
They're like, oh, man, you forgot. I'm like, oh, my gosh, that was huge, you know? I mean, Michael Phelps was a big time, too.
Yeah.
We've talked about that in the Olympics. So that was definitely another one that, at least in the U.S., like, that was massive, you know, Michael Phelps in Beijing. But I also, so we've kind of talked about, like, this is a little bit of, with the Olympics, I kind of was just reminiscing a little bit. Gaming. So video gaming. Do you consider that a sport? Because you said that you wouldn't be surprised if it's in the Olympics.
I don't know.
And not even just like Olympics aside, like, is it a sport?
I think in the same sense that breakdancing was a sport,
I don't think it is. Even with breakdancing, like, I don't think breakdancing is either, but breakdancing at least takes athletic ability.
Yeah.
Literally, anybody can play. I'm not saying that I'm as good as these guys that are playing.
Yeah.
If I played as much as them,
you'd probably get
good. I don't know for sure, but it's like, hey, you'd get up there.
I don't know. I agree with that. I don't think it. I don't know. I could see the only reason why I say I could see gaming being in the Olympics is because of how popular it is worldwide. I remember when I was stationed in Korea.
But what part of gaming would it be?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, what are they playing?
I don't know what games they play, but
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, in the Olympics, are they playing a sport?
Probably not.
Or are they playing, like, I don't even know the games very much. What's the one? Fortnite? Like, are they playing that?
I don't know. It could probably be.
You know, are they playing the rollerball with the cars? What's that one?
We used to play that all the
I
time.
know.
I can't think.
What the heck is it called?
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Like, is that?
I could see Rocket League.
You know,
yeah.
I just don't see it. Like, I don't consider it a sport because if you're saying that's a sport, because I saw this thing, they're like, well, they practice just as much. They have to, like, train for all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, why isn't chess a sport?
Yeah.
I play a lot of chess, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm great at chess, but
I don't know.
Those, like, the grandmasters, they're practicing, they're training, you know, they're reading all this stuff.
Like, just to, like, say of why it's never going to be in the Olympics, it's kind of promoting not being outside, not exercising, not, like, doing all this stuff. Because, like you said, you don't have to be athletic to play video games.
I mean, you could be 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And be playing with a
and I think
11, 12-year-old.
That's
honestly.
kind of the opposite of what the Olympics and sports promotes is, hey, go outside, be active, play with friends. And
I'm not even saying the Olympics, just sports in general, because they have leagues now.
Yeah, they do.
But they have leagues of everything.
Yeah.
So it's just more, they're getting a lot of investors and different stuff like that, you know. I just, like, I don't want to watch somebody play a game, but it's weird to say because then I love playing, like watching basketball.
Yeah.
I'm watching people play basketball.
Yeah, it's always
But
like.
it's, do you know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of the same. Like, I don't want to watch somebody play a video game when I can go play the same video game. You know? Like,
yeah, but then you're also like, all right, why do we like to watch baseball? Why do we like to watch basketball, hockey,
I don't know, because they're
football?
way better at it than us.
But they are as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's a weird.
I don't know. I still like.
I always find that like, because I want to say that I don't want to watch somebody play a video game, but I want to watch somebody actually play the game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's such a weird thing.
I think it's always going to be in that limbo of should we consider this a sport or not?
I think for me is if I really wanted to, I could be, I'm not saying as good, but close. Like I could be a top gamer.
Who knows?
You know, like if you're playing all the time, you could most likely be a top gamer. Whereas no matter how much I play basketball, I'm not going to make the NBA.
Yeah.
Same thing with MLB. Same thing with NFL. Same thing with NHL. Yeah. No matter how much I practice personally, there's absolutely no way I'm making those.
There's a lot more other factors like height and weight and just natural ability and stuff like that. So yeah, I agree. But
I don't know.
I'm excited. Like listeners out there, I don't know. What do you guys think? If yes or no, should esports be considered a sport?
Yeah.
Which
even if it's called esports,
that's
what I was just thinking too.
I was just thinking that
e-gaming should.
I mean, it is called esports.
I know. It's just like I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I'd like to see what people say. I hope people comment and just kind of tell us what you think. Another thing, because I don't even know what else to say about this.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really started thinking. There was a lot of controversy in boxing this year for the Olympics. And this, I'm saying the Olympics, this has nothing to do with strictly the Olympics because it's happened in like swimming before and some other sports in years past. Transgender athletes.
Yep.
If you're born a male, should you be able to like play in female sports and vice versa? It's tough, you know, because I am for, hey, if you want to be transgender, it's your choice.
Yep.
You know, like, not want to be, like, if you are transgender, you know, hey, that's your choice.
Yep.
Awesome. You know, if that's how you're comfortable, awesome. You know, in sports, it's like a gray area.
Yeah.
Like, in my head, I think what would be best is if, like, say, even for the Olympics, there's another division.
Yeah. Well, I think, like...
But I don't know.
I actually really liked how the Olympics handled it this year, because they said, I'm pretty sure you had to transition before the age of 5, I think it was, to be able to...
I don't think that boxer transitioned before 5.
Well, the boxer was different, because there was some, like, medical condition, I thought, that... She was a female, but just they had an extra chromosome, so just had more natural testosterone or whatever. But so it wasn't like she was a transgender. I think it was more like just a medical condition. So she alone fell into another gray area.
Yeah. So you're saying like, all right, what do you think? Like, do you think it's like, say, right now? There's a 16-year-old boy, okay, for example, and great basketball player, but he can't make his high school team. Well, and he's already, I'm not saying that this is why they're transgender, or not transgendering. This is why they're, like, thinking about that or anything. But say it's like, hey, he's always kind of felt like a woman. Yeah. Well, he transitions into a woman. Well, he's 18 now, and he's getting D1 scholarships for women's college basketball.
Yeah, I don't think that should be allowed. Because I think the whole thing with transgenders is you want to be treated as, like, whatever gender you say that you are or feel like
well,
you
exactly.
are.
Well, and then all right, so they
like,
should get the scholarship. Then.
Yeah, but it's not. Then it just doesn't make it fair for the sport that you're in. So I think like you need to look at that.
So it's like, what should you do?
You want
what's the best? Like
I think like
I don't know.
You just gotta draw the hard line of no. Like you gotta like the Olympics said, if you transitioned at a young age, then you've had majority of your life as that gender, then yeah.
Right, but how do you cut it off? All right, they said under 5. What if you transition when you're 6?
Sorry,
that's not that big of a difference either.
Sorry, I don't know.
It's such a weird.
It is.
It's such a gray area because I think they should be treated the same.
Yeah, well,
it's hard because, like I said, they are not transitioning because of sports.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with sports. It's because of how they feel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've had friends that have transitioned, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm also very supportive of them. I think that's like they should do what they want, but it's just, man, it's in sports. It's just such a weird thing, and it's always male to female that it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Female to male, it's not as big of a deal, it seems, you know. But it's just like, because it sucks for them too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're getting all this like ridicule and stuff. And it's just like, man, I don't know. Like, I wonder. They have to figure out something, because then. Now, especially with it being a election year, I feel like then it goes all politics too, and that drives me crazy because this should not have nothing to do with politics either.
Yeah, shouldn't it?
But I want it to be fair for the women and men already in the sport, and fair for the transgender athlete going into the sport as well.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't know how they do that. I don't know.
With 5 being such a young age too, it comes into parents. Like
that's right. I don't think 5. I think 5's way too young.
Yeah.
Like personally, because
then,
at 5, I've obviously never been in this situation, so I don't know at 5 if like, no, I'm a boy or I'm a girl, you know. Mm-hmm. But I remember playing with Barbies with like my cousins. When I was little,
me and my sister, we used to play Barbie and Batman.
Exactly, you know,
the Barbies over at Batman.
But it's like I remember playing just with like a Barbie like playhouse with my sister was 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
All right, she's 12. I remember playing when I was like 7, and it's like it wasn't my favorite thing, but yeah, I'd play with her. And
I think so maybe they should not, instead of 5, maybe like right before puberty, like maybe 10.
I mean, puberty can be different for everybody.
I know,
and stuff,
but like
too.
you got to have it.
I don't think it should be an age thing, though. I really don't.
Well,
I think
it
should
have an age thing. Then
well, that's why I don't. I think
they.
Well, that's why I was saying. I think it should almost be like another division. You can
just
play
on how many people there are.
Well, and that's where it's like, because I don't think there's a ton as of right now.
At least
like you never know.
Not people willing to.
It kind of comes back for where like homosexuals in sports.
Mm-hmm.
There's homosexuals in sports, but they do not come out because it's like forbidden and stuff. And it's like, man, like, obviously I'm not in that situation, but I'm like, dude, just do it, you know, or girl, like it's more in women's sports that a lot more like come out as homosexual. Men's sports, you do not see it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I just keep on coming back though, like you want your like regular life you to be treated equal to whatever gender you're in. So then why, like, you have to be treated equal in the sport too then? Because it's like, if you're a male transition to female playing in the female sport, you got to realize that, hey, because I was born a different way, it sucks, but I'm naturally going to be a little bit stronger, a little bit, like, better. And it sucks.
It's more like, I mean, they're, like, men are physically bigger, you know, testosterone and stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, like I said, it sucks, but you just have to, like,
I don't know. And maybe we shouldn't have brought this up because it's a very big controversy.
It is.
But like I said, hey, with all of what we said, I completely support what they want to do. What if they want to be a man, if they want to be a female, completely support that.
It's everybody's choice. They should be comfortable with who they want to be. Nobody else should ridicule them or make fun of them or treat them any differently just because of what they want to be or what they don't want to be.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, me and Tim we're both like fully supportive of it. So hopefully people don't take it as
we're against or anything.
Like
we are
that,
definitely
it is a very big big controversy. I think that's the biggest reason why boxing is no longer going to be in the Olympics, because
you said that was.
I think they just kind of saw it as like, all right, we just don't want to deal with it. We tried our best,
and it really could.
The world
I mean, boxing's been in for a long time, but it could be. I don't know.
And I think boxing is one of the biggest sports with it. Like, I know you said like swimmers, and I can't think of like many other sports.
I mean, I'm sure there's other. That's just like what you hear, you know.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
it's
track or
I don't know
something, but like it sucks. But it just it seems like the Olympic Committee just kind of said, "All right, you guys, we tried our best. You guys all slandered us in social media and all this stuff. So you know what? We're just done."
It'll be
winning.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily why. I'm sure it's crossed their mind.
I think to
because there's been other controversies in a lot of other sports as well.
Yeah.
And they haven't I think boxing as a whole has gotten not as much publicity and stuff like that. You know, I mean, they're bringing back a lot of other fighters and different stuff. You know, it's just not. I mean, Mike Tyson's about to fight Jake Paul next month or whatever. Yeah. I actually probably will watch that, but it's can you name 3 boxers right now that are actually active?
No.
But
all the ones I know are retired.
Well, that's what. All right, but boxers back 20, 30, 40 years ago, I can name a few. You know, and so I think boxing just as a whole has probably shrunk a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A little bit.
But so let us know what you think and stuff about that.
Yep.
Really quick before we go, who do you think the Broncos starter is going to be? Game 2 is tonight. Just want to see what you think before Game 2.
I think tonight should be Bo Nix.
I'm saying regular season, Game 1. We'll talk about this more too. I saw Minshew is going to be the starter for the Raiders.
I think they'll still have Stidham.
You think Stidham? Yeah. I think Bo Nix now, dude. Actually, I think I said Bo Nix before. We've talked about this right after the draft, too.
Yeah.
I didn't watch last week's game. Bo Nix, it looks like, played really good.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see this week, but I still am on the side where you don't draft a quarterback at 12 if you're not going to start him. Especially if, I'm not saying Stidham's terrible, but if you don't really have a clear-cut guy that's going to start, I just don't see why are you drafting a quarterback.
If Bo Nix does really well today, again, I think he will be named Week 1 starter. But if he struggles at all,
I think even if he throws 3 picks, I think he's the starter. I just don't see why not.
If he throws any picks, he's not the starter.
Even 1 pick,
no.
3 touchdowns, 1 pick,
no.
5 touchdowns, 1 pick, 400 yards. You're saying I'm just saying 475 yards, 17 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's not the starter.
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think so.
Bo Nix, if you're listening, you better get 17 touchdowns, 475 yards in the first quarter that you're going to play.
I will say I think Bo Nix will be the starter Week 4 on out. Whether he starts Week 1.
So you think Stidham's only going to get 3?
Yeah.
When he throws 17 picks the first game.
Yeah. Well, if he throws 17 picks Week 1, then no, he's going to...
How many picks can he throw?
I don't know, 2.
So if he throws 3 picks... No.
Yeah, three picks in the 3 weeks. He's done.
He's going to score 10 touchdowns and 3 picks, and he's out Game 1?
Yeah. I'm also in the position where I want Broncos to do well, but I'm a realist. I know they aren't going to do that well.
I think Bo Nix might take us to the Super Bowl.
I
still don't like him, but I think Bo Nix is going to take us. I might get a jersey. Who knows?
If we lose 4 of the first 7 weeks, I think we should just tank.
We might tank not even trying.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like I'm a realist as a Broncos fans. I'm not expecting anything, and I'd rather see a team do very bad and get a better draft pick.
I just want us to be able to
middle
at least,
of the pack and get like a.
I want us to be in
14th pick.
games though. I don't want to be like halftime. Like,
I don't want that
should
either.
we like go on a walk? Like,
Yeah.
You know,
I don't want
mean,
that either, but
so I want to at least be, even if we're losing, it's like I just want to be in games.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's exciting. I don't know. Bring Tebow back, maybe.
Yeah,
that was so Tebow mania. That's definitely another
that's
one.
Another one.
Yep. Tebow mania. Oh, that was so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, that was definitely another. At least for sure for like Denver sports, but Tebow mania. Somebody's gonna listen just to the first half, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, he forgot to talk about Tebow," and then. This is why you listen. This is why you listen, peeps.
Yeah.
We're gonna start our game picks again next week.
Yep.
So we'll start that. Hopefully we'll have Braden on. I don't even. Maybe I should stop saying it. You know. But that's all.
When it happens.
Yeah, and I know we have a couple other people that want to be in once the football season starts and stuff too. So
pumped.
But that's all we got for this week. We hope you have a great week. Mm-hmm. Great start back to school for the kids and everything, and. That's it.
Yeah. Got nothing else. Let us know how we did, what we can improve on.
Yeah.
Go
Broncos! Woo-hoo!
Hear your feedback.
All right. We'll see you later, alligators. Peace!